Welcome, welcome, ladies. Look at all those beautiful smiles. Thank you for being here. Hello, Tamara. Hello, Gail. Hello, Teresa. It's been so long since I've seen you. I love it. I love it. We are expecting several more come on. So while we do that, I'm going to go ahead and put in the chat the background. So if you could change your background, great. If you don't know how, if you can't, I'm okay with that too. I'm just blessed that you can all be here with me today. So let me get that background put in. Let's look here. There you go. And Tamara, could you do me a huge favor, my love, and remind Abby and Dar, sometimes they get their time zones all confused. You know,
I will.
thank you, my love. You know, we all have our strengths and we all have those weaknesses, right? Yes. So it's just what it is. It took me forever to figure out the time zones, and I still get it confused. For some reason, I want to get confused with the California people, and I don't know why. I know it's 2 hours difference. Sometimes I still get it confused. And forget it if it's, I'm always forgetting my poor brother's time zone in Utah. I keep forgetting, is it 2 hours or 1 hour difference? But it is what it is. Okay. So I'm going to share my screen here in about 2 minutes. Did everyone get a chance to download or print the worksheet? Okay, I'm going to give you the link. And again, if you want to download it or print it, great. If you don't, that's okay too. But let me get the link for you, just in case you or someone else wants to utilize that. I really believe that a lot of us are missing out on mastering negotiation skills and unlocking the value in every deal we do. And that's going to look different for each and every one of us. But I really thought, you know what? I'm going to do a class on this because I think it will help others and inspire others. And you know what? That's what I feel like that my goal in life is right now. Do you ever wonder, what is my goals? Is the good Lord above really wanting me to do with my time left on this earth? Have I fulfilled all of his wants for me? So I'm really trying to fulfill those. Gail, I would like to know if you could unmute and kind of inspire us on that. And I'm putting her on the spot, ladies. She did not know I was going to ask her that, but I know she's ready. I know that she is ready with an answer because she always is when it comes to this topic.
Okay. So again, my sense is that we all are here for a purpose, a purpose that I call my soul contract. That is my willingness to do what the Creator created me for. And when we discover what that soul contract is, we begin to live into it and live as that contract in the world that each of us has. And the beauty is that each of us, however similar we are and whatever commonality we have, has a unique take and a unique filter because we have unique experiences, unique biology, unique heredity, all of that. So each of us I love the image that in the great whole, the great unity that is all there is, that is love, that is our union with the Creator. Think of it as a jigsaw puzzle. And there is one piece that is a LaDonna shaped piece, and one piece that's a Tamara shaped piece, and one piece that is a Grace shaped piece. And as we work through our lives, our goal, our intention, our desire, and our purpose is to find the place where our piece fits, so that at the end of the day, the whole can be complete. So what we're doing, and LaDonna's kind of, I keep wondering, like, am I doing enough? Am I doing all of it? Am I doing it in the right way? The great thing, and think about it, you probably all have solved jigsaw puzzles, and you probably all have had that experience where something looks like it should fit. It's got the shape, it's got the right number of tabs or the right number of slots. It even is the right color. It looks like it belongs there, and you try it, it just doesn't quite fit. Close, but not quite. May all of us come to the moment where the puzzle that's being created in the universe at this moment has the piece, has the opening for the piece that is shaped as us. And may we support each other in finding the place for our pieces.
That is so beautiful, Gail. I knew that you could answer that so gracefully and so true. And you're right, it's going to look different for me than it is for Gail or Teresa or Grace or Tamara, because even though we were all created equally, we weren't created the same. And that's kind of not the same. I don't even want to compare, but mastering negotiation skills, unlocking value in every deal is a little bit the same. It's not the same. It doesn't fit the same for each and every one of us. And I really, really felt like, again, that I needed to do a class on this. And it doesn't have to be, maybe you're sitting there wondering in your life, do I know how to unlock the value that I need to unlock? It doesn't have to be a business. You don't even have to own a business to have to know how to negotiate skills each and every day of our lives. Teresa works in insurance. You've got to bet that she's trying to negotiate every single moment when that phone rings or she's on the computer trying to find the best deals for her clients, right? And especially since she works in auto insurance, right, Teresa, if I remember correctly? Yes. And I don't know about you guys, but here in Texas, my auto insurance, guess what LaDonna will be doing after surgery this week is looking for new auto insurance. I have full coverage on one car and only what Texas says we have to have on our old truck because it's paid for and not worth having full coverage on. It went from $230 to almost $500 per month. And it's just Mark and I with perfect driving records, no teenagers on the policy. It's because we've had so many storms, they say, and damages, and then so many fatalities. I don't know, and I don't understand why I should have to pay for everyone else's faults. But that's just the way the world works. So we are going to jump in deep, but not all the way where you can drown today on negotiations. I could talk about this skill all day long, but none of us have time on this Sunday for this, and it would be overwhelming. So I'm going to share my screen. Let me know at any time we can stop and ask questions. I want that this is a workshop. I want to stop when you need us to stop and ask your questions, brief questions, quick answers, and then we'll move on. So I'm going to share my screen. I'm not real fast at this, but I can get it done. So here we go. And that is not the right screen. That is what I have issues with when I go to share my screen. Let me stop and try that again. You know what it is, Gal, Grace, Teresa, Tamara? I have too much open on my computer at one time. That's why. All right. So let's try that again. All right, let me close out some of this. It's just not working. It's saying, LaDonna, wake up and get it right, people. Again, strengths and weaknesses. So if I do it enough, I will accomplish it, right? All right, here we go. I'm betting that I'm going to get it this time, I hope. All right, mastering negotiation skills, unlocking value in every deal. Every deal. So this is just a cute little way of saying, you have different deals look in different situations, and unlocking the value in every deal is key, and it's masterful in your life and in your business life, personal and business, no matter what kind of business that you're working. It can be an entrepreneurial business, your own business. It can be that you work for someone else and you're needing to lock in more of those deals, unlock the value in them. So welcome to the basic of negotiation. Do you have the key that you need? And I'm really trying to stay in the download that you received, hopefully, or if you printed it off, you should be able to follow us, but no guarantees. Negotiation is a powerful tool, and it is an essential life skill. I wish they taught this in school, but they do not. They do not teach so many life skills that we truly need our kiddos to learn. So we're going to learn some powerful things that I say put in your little pink toolbox. Why mastering negotiation skills is essential. We're going to talk about that. We are going to discover the 7 keys to master negotiation skills effectively. There are 7 keys times 2. There's really 14 keys that I have identified, but we use 7 of them in one way and 7 in a different way. So make sure you have a pen to write this on the back of your guide that you download, that you printed, or a notepad to write in, or just screenshot the screen as we come up, because these 14 keys are really going to help you identify maybe where you need to strengthen your life skills, your essentials for you. And again, you have to know yours is not going to look exactly like mine are, but we're going to discover hopefully at least 1 or 2 or 14 that we can help you girls with today. In the chat, and if it's embarrassing, you don't have to put it in the chat, and in your notes, if you can, if you want to, it's you. We're here to help each other today. Your name, and it's important for you to put your name, because I want you to know you're talking about yourself. You're talking to yourself. One personal situation and or one business situation where, why, how you hope to use negotiation skills today or in your near future. That maybe you're really reaching out to get some help with, to identify, to strengthen. Maybe you already know what they are, but you want them to be stronger. And if this doesn't make sense to you yet, that's okay too, because I'm going to ask you this again later on, because Grace may be sitting there saying, well, I'm really not for sure what negotiation skills that I need to strengthen right now, this moment. But then Teresa may have 2 or 3 or 5 personal situation skills in the negotiation field that she's hoping to strengthen today or in the near future. Okay. For me, it seems like every time I talk to someone or I Zoom with someone or I'm messaging someone, it seems like I have to think about how I want to talk to that person, because it's not always about, some people will say things that I don't agree with. You don't just say, I don't agree with you. You work with it, you work around it. That doesn't mean you're changing your mind about how you feel. You hope that you can teach each other as you're talking, as you're speaking, as you're teaching and learning. But it's not always the cause. Everyone's not going to be our people. Everyone's not going to buy our courses. Everyone's not going to buy our favorite lipstick. Everyone's not going to like the same movie we go to. Some people are not going to like to go shopping at Walmart. They rather shop at Target. It's okay. That doesn't mean that we can't talk to each other and learn from each other. Okay. So in the chat and or in your note, I want you to answer this question and make sure you put your name. Yes, Gail knows her name, darn it. She does. But I want her to write her name because I want her to remember she's talking about herself, not her sister, not her friend. I'm Gail. One personal situation and or one business situation. Okay. All right. The why. 7 keys for mastering negotiation skills effectively, not in conflict. And this can be really hard for some people right here. You have to remember, I remember Tamara and I talked one day, and I told her, if you make the appointment, you are in charge of that appointment. Nod your head if you agree with that. Someone has to be in charge. And if you are creating the appointment, if you're reaching out and asking for the appointment, you stay in charge of that appointment. Because if you don't, the other person's going to take over. They're going to try to sell you their course. They're going to try to sell you. That is not what that first call is about. It's not usually about the second call either. It's about what? Let me get to know you. I want to like you. I want to know you. I want to trust you. I want to figure out who you are, what you're about. So the 7 keys. Now, we're not going to talk about every one of these today because, again, we only have about 90 minutes. And I want to make sure we touch, just touch base on everything. And then we can go back at a different time and really dig deeper. Personal and professional success. Improve your relationships. Financial savings and gains. Enhanced problem solving. Increased confidence and empowerment, adaptability and flexibility, and personal development. Now, these are the 7 keys of why you need to master. And when I say master, truly master negotiation. When you watch police movies sometimes and someone's trying to hurt someone else or they're trying to hurt themselves, they will bring out a negotiator out, right? This is just because we know these movies, we've seen this on TV, right? So this is familiar with us. The negotiator that's there has their tools in their mind of how they're going to talk this person out, hopefully, out of hurting someone else, a group of people, or themselves, because their whole goal is for them to walk away with everyone being in their safe zone. So what you're hoping to do is put yourself in in a room with this person per se, and really get to know this person on a personal or professional level. Now, Tamara is a life coach. She wants to teach other military people better ways to, when they get out of the military, how to live their lives, or women over 50. Okay. So it may be a professional thing that she needs to master negotiation, but she lives, oh, we all need to feel sorry for Tamara right now. She lives with a teenager every single day. Do you not think she has to negotiate with her sometimes? Teresa has, and so does Grace. Gail, I'm not for sure about you, but Teresa and Grace both live with adult children. Do you not think that sometimes they have to negotiate with them? Because if you don't negotiate effectively and positively, it can become a very hostile environment. Can we shake our heads to that? It truly can. I'm married to my high school sweetheart. He's going to walk in that door at 8:15 tonight. He's been gone since 5:15 this morning, on his feet, working, doing his thing, right? God forbid if I do not have his dinner on close to on the table when he walks in that door. He's hungry, he's irritable, he's tired. I don't want conflict. So I'm going to try my very best to have dinner pretty close to done. And if I can't have it done, I'm going to call him ahead of time and have him pick up a pizza. So, because no conflict. Remember, if you get into a conflict, the negotiation is over. You may as well end your call, in your Zoom, and try another day. So no conflict, okay? So you can truly use the skill that I'm giving you today in your everyday life. And improve every kind of relationship you have by doing it. It is a problem-solving tool, and you're going to learn more and more about that each time we talk about this. Being flexible, key. Number one key is feel confident and feel empowered by yourself. Be gracious about you. Because once you give your power up, now you feel like you're in conflict. You feel like that you don't deserve the other person to feel like that I can help them. I can coach them. Grace is going to start thinking about, well, maybe my coffee's not going to work for this person. Or maybe Teresa's going to think, well, you know what? I can't find the insurance this person's wanting. I can't, and that is not the way you want to feel. You are powered up. You have charged your battery for this conversation and you are ready. Okay. So that's where your personal development comes in, like taking classes like this. Why not? Why don't we have hundreds of people on here today? Well, Maybe it's not the right day. Maybe something came up because we should have 14 people registered, and look at us. Things happen. Things happen. But the show must go on. We are here. We have allowed ourselves to be here, and we are going to adapt to what we need to adapt to. Increase your confidence anytime that you can possibly increase your confidence. What is the best way to increase your confidence? Be prepared and keep yourself surrounded by people that are happy, drama-free, smiling, that empowers you, that makes you feel good. Okay? Understanding negotiation. What is it? What is a negotiation? How does it start? A conversation where two or more people seek mutual agreement, relevance in everyday life, reaching an agreement, transferring ownership, daily, personal, and business life. Now, Tamara may be sitting there saying, what does that mean? Transferring ownership. I'm a life coach. What am I going to transfer? But you are, Tamara. You're going to transfer your knowledge, how you can help them by giving them ideas. It's not all about selling someone these markers, okay? It's selling them that they deserve whatever it is that they are wanting to earn today, tomorrow, in the near future. And letting those people know that yesterday is no longer here. Teresa cannot give you insurance for the cost that it was 10 years ago. She can only give you insurance of how much it costs today. Gail she is striving out there, and she is so empowered to get everyone to believe that they are worthy and they can empower themselves and the world around them by getting in her environment, by letting her talk with them, by surrounding themselves with great, worthy people that want the same thing as they do. Okay? Grace wants everyone to live a healthier life by having all the essentials to put in their bodies and just enrich their souls by feeling better. Okay? That's what we're all here for, is to help each other, to help others. And as long as we are giving to others, we will receive in return. So understand what you want to negotiate and what you can negotiate before jumping on a Zoom with someone, answering the phone with someone, calling someone, setting up an appointment with someone. I want to give you an example. Tamara is in my coaching program. So before her and I meet for the next time, I'm going to have some ideas for Tamara. She's going to have some concerns and questions for me, okay? I need to know before I talk with Tamara where she's going. So I've been working with her for a while, so I know what she wants. How can I help her get there? Because that's what she wants to know. She doesn't want to know what I'm having for dinner. Okay, she wants to know, how can she get more customers? How can she scale up? How can she serve more people, help more people on a daily and every day? Okay, so I need to come prepared for our meeting, prepared. When Gail and I talk the next time, I know I'm going to be interviewing Gail. So I need to come prepared for my interview with Gail to boost her community, to help boost her as a person, to give people the insight of what is Gail all about. You don't want to go into a conversation without knowing what you can negotiate with. So let's say, for example, I'm going to use Grace, for example, because that's pretty easy. Because a lot of people think when you're negotiating, it's a material thing, like her coffee, selling markers, a lipstick, a piece of jewelry. Okay. So if Grace asked me to meet with her because she wants to offer me something, this is not on the first call or second call or third call. Grace and I have talked many times over the last year. So it's okay for her to call upon me to tell me about this great new tea that they have just launched in her business. It's okay because we have gotten that relationship built up, okay? So it's okay. But when she comes to the call with me, she needs to know what can she negotiate with me, how far she can go, what she can offer me. Because what if they're having a sale on the tea? Or maybe just in this 5 days, if you order 1 box of tea, you get a box for half price. Or maybe if you order 2 boxes of tea this week, you get free shipping. See, so that's a negotiation power tool for her. Okay. Same thing if you are a coach. If I'm going to call upon Gail to offer her a specific coaching program that I have put together that I think that would help her tremendously build her community, I could offer her certain things because Gail and I, this is not our first or second or third call. We've talked several times that maybe I can offer her a reduced price. Or say, Gail, if you come in at this price, I will let your friend come in at half price. You have to know what Gail may need, what she may be looking for, and what carrot can I hold over Gail to get her to come in now to my coaching program right now, not next month, not next year. That doesn't mean she's always going to do it, but where is the negotiation? Where can I start? And where is my limit? Because I can't give it away free every time, because then how am I going to keep the lights on? Okay. So we want to have that conversation. We want it to be, whatever we're offering, we want it to be relevant. It's just so powerful. It's so hard for them to say no. Reaching the agreement of what I'm going to do for them, and in return, what they're going to do for me. So if I offer Gail the half price, then I've offered that. If she agrees to it, she's going to pay me the half price. Then we set up our first time that we're going to talk. Now we have transferred some ownership there. Okay. Now, is this for her personal or her business life? Well, that is what I offer really is going to help in both areas. But in some people's cases, it may only help you in your business life. But let me tell you a little secret, ladies. I don't always agree, especially when you're an entrepreneurship, you own your own business. Now, my husband's an engineer for Texas Instruments. Has everyone heard of Texas Instruments? Most people know them by the calculator, which, Texas Instruments don't even make anymore. Their name is on it, but they don't even make it anymore. They sold that company off $1.5 million years ago, but the name is powerful. So the company kept the name. The reason I'm telling you this, when my husband leaves the building and swipes his badge and says, checking out, he no longer has to worry about Texas Instruments. Okay? Now, When I leave my office, which is right here at home, guess what? I cannot stop working with my clients until the next day every time, because sometimes my clients need me beforehand, or maybe I have a meeting that's only going to happen at 7 o'clock at night. So maybe I still have to go to a meeting, even though I walked out of the office at 5. Doesn't mean I don't have to walk back in at 7. So see, no matter what happens at Texas Instruments tonight, when he walks out of his office at 7:30 tonight, guess what? He does not have to swipe his badge again until 7 o'clock in the morning. Doesn't matter what happens. So some people will say, well, just don't mix personal life with business life. That's really hard when you're an entrepreneur. Would everyone agree with that? It's really hard when you're selling a product, you're selling yourself. And when I say selling yourself, you are selling yourself. If you're selling a product, if you're selling a program, a project, if you build website, you are selling yourself, because like, know, and trust factor, right? Some people are only going to come to Teresa because they love her customer service, and that is why they stay with the insurance company that they stay with. You know, if Teresa is selling a product or a coaching program or whatever it is that she's doing, they want to like her, they want to know her, they want to trust her before she does it. Okay. So remember that it's so important. Everything we do does rub off on us, because if Teresa's not happy at home, she's not going to be happy at work either. Same as me. If I have trouble with my granddaughter right now or my grandson, it is going to affect me when I come to my office, because why do they make such stupid mistakes is in the back of my head. You know, or why did they not pay the speeding ticket? Or why is that car broken? How are we going to handle it? It's just the way it is. All right. So, knowledge. We've talked about this a little bit. Before we go into this, does anyone have any questions, comments, concerns right now? Tamra, I don't know why you're not speaking up, because I know you always have something to say. You're like me. But for real, does anyone have questions, comments? You don't understand?
You know, I'm trying to just learn right now.
Okay.
And the negotiation part, I really have a problem saying no to people. So the negotiation is me learning how to say, listen, I really appreciate you, but not right now. So that's why I'm trying to just kind of listen. So that's why.
Perfect. And Tamara, I'm so glad you brought that up, because it is. When we get on these calls, it's powerful. Let's face it, we're on these calls because we want to sell something to each other, but we can't always say yes. Teresa.
Okay, so this isn't about, well, it is about business, because I've been at the same job for 18 years. And it's come to pass that I'm just going to end up leaving it, because there is no, when it comes, my employer doesn't allow negotiation to occur, because they say one thing and then they do another. And now in this instance, I was noticing on my payroll that I didn't know when we became salary, because I get paid so much per hour. And then I was noticing that each paycheck I was getting 86 hours, and I get paid on the 15th and the last day of the month. So there's very rarely a check that's for just 10 days only. So on those 10 days, I'm going to get paid 86 hours, even though I only worked 80, but it's most pay periods are 11 and 12 days. And so I know that I'm getting shorted, period.
Yes.
There was no email, there was no notification from HR, letter, nothing. I have
Yeah.
not discussed it with any of my other coworkers because I don't want them to know that I'm the red flag, or Teresa's upset about this or whatnot, and if you're in management, my my manager's already been told that she's salary no matter how many hours she works, but this is almost an Illinois Department of Labor issue because I've already contacted them. So when it comes to my evaluation, I feel like I'm evaluating my employer because they keep shortfalling me. And I read ahead and said, be positive, maintain positive and cooperative attitude, but sometimes it's very difficult not to be like, having the attitude like, what the heck,
Well, and Teresa, oh, I'm so glad that I stopped at this point because, let's go back to the like, know, and trust. It sounds like Teresa can't trust her employer at this point. And that is sad that you've been there this long and you cannot go to your management, and it's a ladder. You go to the one right above you and then the one right above them if you don't get your answers, and you keep going up till you get to the top of the chain. And it sounds like you can't do that. So there's no negotiation, and that's sad because you've given them 15 plus years, 10 plus years, your dedication and you know, and that's sad because negotiation is powerful for both sides. And I hope that you can come to some negotiation with someone in your office because I don't feel like they're going to want to lose you after all these years. And I know you don't want to lose that job after all these years. But again, get your ducks in a row before you hang up your towel. And so that you can leave with grace and you've done everything that you can do in your power, and it's in their court that you have to leave. It's because of them that you have to leave. And it's so hard when you work for a corporation. It can be a mom and pop per se place or a big corporation. It doesn't matter. Everyone needs to treat each other as a person and fulfill their needs and being able to negotiate. When I used to own my brick and mortar restaurants in the past, sometimes my employees would come to me and say, I've asked God for 3 Friday nights in a row to go on this date with my girlfriend, and you keep denying. Yes, because when I hired you, I said everyone must work on Friday nights unless it's something extremely important for you, like if it's prom, of course, I'm not going to tell them no. And I know this is just very little to what we're talking about with you, Teresa, but it's still powerful to know, is there room for negotiation or not? And I knew where my negotiation was. If it was important enough, we negotiate. If it's not, we go back and reflect back to what we talked about in the past. Teresa, I know that doesn't really help at this point, but I hope that you will keep reaching out to upper management and really try to negotiate. Maybe even if it's a formal letter, I would not talk about it with your other people that have no way of helping the scenario. Gail, do you have something to say about this?
I did. First, that, in my experience, negotiation works best between people who have equal levels of power in a relationship. And the greater the distance in power, as in the more power one party has over the other, the less opportunity there is for true one-on-one negotiation. But it doesn't mean that there cannot be some level of agreement reached, even if somebody is invoking authority or you've reached an impasse, you can ask for that to be clearly articulated and specified in writing. Like what you're saying, Teresa, you know, you never got notification that you had gone to salary. Well, you know, that can you specify that this is what this means? I'll be paid 86 hours every pay period, with the expectation, of course, that I'll work 86 hours, but on salary, if I work 84, I still get paid 86. If I work 88, I still get paid 86. But at least that my position is now classified as an exempt salaried position, so that you know that, and you have in writing that that's the status. Because otherwise, if you don't have in writing that that's the status, and you have a prior hourly wage agreement, you're right that you have cause to make a complaint to the Illinois Department of Labor that says, I'm not being compensated. You surely don't want to go to that adversarial place, but you know, you may say, here's what I need, and I trust that you'll give it to me. And you know, you may not get it, but you will at least have the satisfaction of having advocated for yourself to get the specificity about the position. Because right now you're making an assumption that they're considering you salaried, but that's not ever been articulated. They're paying you as though you were salaried instead of hourly. But, you know, there's a disparity. So I think, you know, recognize that, you know, the higher up in the organization you go to work things out, of course, the greater the power differential and the less egalitarian the solution is. But you still always have an option, and make sure you remember and retain that option when you go into any kind of conversation. My experience is when I've gone into negotiation or into conversation with somebody who has more power than I do, I give them even more power than they genuinely have, or I have in the past. Until recently, I've done that I've given away my power and felt entirely powerless. And that's not true. So just
Absolutely, absolutely.
carry that in.
You know what? I love things that are in writing, because then you can reflect back to that later. Because if you don't have it in writing, it's who said what, and that's a no-go when it comes to negotiation. So I'm glad that we've had this time. We've lost Tamara, so if anyone sees her come back on the screen, please let me know, because I may miss her. When you're sharing the screen, sometimes it's a little hard to see things. So let's talk about the 7 keys to prepare for a negotiation. We talked about 7 keys before, but this is 7 keys of how to negotiate, not why, but how. So when I go in to negotiate, you need to know what interest. If I'm going to have a meeting with someone, when we've touched base on this prior to now, today, their interest. What are their goals? What are the desires, their wants, their needs? How can I help Teresa best? What can I do for her? Because, you know, when we're in business and when we're trying to make deals with one another, it's all about them. What can I do for them? What do I have that they need, want, desire? Help them make their goals. Ensuring fairness. Teresa just talked about that. Fairness. How can we be fair to one another? How can I be fair to Grace, and so that I can build her trust? That is so important, that trust. And people want more trust today than what we've ever had. And guess what, ladies? It's hard to get trust sometimes, because There's so many craziness going out there in our world. I don't care where you live, what country, what state, what city, it's around us. It surrounds us. Ugh, I can't.
Trust is a great thing, but when you are negotiating a large contract, I think that that a contract that's notarized by lawyers is necessary. Even though you say, I trust you and you trust me, it's still like if you're making a some kind of a contract, even if it's the purchase of a vehicle, definitely the purchase of a house if it's that big. Like I don't know other examples, but that's what I mean. If if I'm gonna take a course that costs me $5,000, I want um I want something in writing that has been notarized by lawyers, you know?
Absolutely. You want to know each other what you have promised. I can't promise something that I have no control over. So I have to be very careful what I write in my contracts when I offer someone a contract, because I can't guarantee if Gail buys a course from me that she's going to gain 100 customers in 100 days. I can't control that, because guess what? If Gail doesn't go out and do what Gail needs to do, she's not going to get even one customer during that time. It's give and take. But what I can do in a contract is say, Gail, if you pay me $1, I will coach you for 1 day. I'm just giving an example. And then, but that's all I can do, because I have to show up, because I've said I'm going to show up on a certain day at a certain time, because that's in my contract, you know. But you're right. I mean, when is the last time you bought a house and didn't have a contract for it? There's a reason. There's a reason. The bank wants you to know this is how much interest you're paying. This is how much your house payment is. This is when you must pay it, or they're going to take it back from you. They can't take it from you if you're paying your payments. You know, you can't stay there if you're not paying your payments. There's a reason for contract. And there's a reason for you to give your word. If Gail tells me she's going to show up at 10 o'clock on Friday for a meeting, unless I hear back from Gail, I'm expecting to have that meeting with Gail at 10 o'clock on Friday. It's a trust factor. I like Gail. I'm getting to know Gail, and now I can trust Gail. So connection, let's talk about relationships. You know, I don't know if all of you have gotten a chance to talk to Katarina. She's been on several of my speaking platforms, so you may have. Katarina, I met through someone else. She has her own platforms, her own organization. But she talks about slow cookers, medium cookers, and really, really slow cookers, and then the fast cookers, like a crock pot. Well, there's a reason why. I may talk to Grace one time and not even bring up my coaching program, but she knows I coach, and she may say, LaDonna, I want you to coach me. That's what we call a fast cooker. But then I may talk to Grace 10 times, 20 times. I may talk to her 3 years from now. I may talk to her every week for 3 years. And then she finally says, I'm ready for one of your coaching programs, LaDonna. That's a really slow cooker. That doesn't mean she's not interested today. There's always a reason why people don't do what you want them to do, what you think they're going to do. It may be money. It may be it's not a time in their life because they already had 3 other coaches. It may be that, you know, they're sick, they're having surgery. There's so many reasons and curveballs in our life that we do things. So just because they say no today doesn't mean they'll say tomorrow. But before you even get to, I would love to offer you this. have that connection, build that relationship. If I'm meeting with someone, I'm going to give you an example. I met a lady at a different event. And every time I go to an event, I reach out to everyone, not just some of them, but everyone that attended that event with me. And I ask them to set up an appointment with me so I can get to know them better and what they do. Or let's say Gail's at that program and I already know what she does. I'll still reach out to Gail and say, hey, Gail, let's get on a call so that we can find out what we can do for each other during the month of June, during summer, whatever, because we always want a reason to talk to each other, because you never know what Gail is doing. She may be speaking at an event that I had nothing or know nothing about, and now I can speak at it. Okay. Or she may have a person that she wants to introduce me to. Keep the fire going in every connection that you can. Everyone's not going to want to keep the fire going, and that's okay. Maybe you can reach out to them 6 months from now and they're ready again. Okay. Keep the relationship going at all times. I haven't heard from Teresa probably in a good 3 months, but I sent her an invitation to come today, and here she is. We're connecting again. It's fabulous because I just keep doing what I know I need to be doing. Alternatives. Action if agreement not met. Well, how important is that agreement to you? Is it worth upsetting someone over and losing a potential customer or client? Or is it better just to let it go? You kind of have to figure that out. About 1.5 years ago, for example, I went into an agreement with a lady that has her own platform. I paid her several thousands of dollars for her to train me, for her to pay me, several different ways of paying me. This is the way it was going to work. We had everything notarized and everything was drafted by attorneys, and we both signed. And about 6 months into it, I wasn't getting paid. Her entire platform changed. I wasn't getting paid on some things I was supposed to get paid on now, and lesser on some things that what I was supposed to. Was it worth me turning it back over to the attorneys to say, hey, I paid this lady all this money and she's not paying me, or just let it go? Well, guess what? I reached back out to the attorneys because I felt like it was worth it to me. And thank goodness I did, because when I did that, she came after me for more money, and the attorney squashed that. So you really have to figure out, if someone cannot finish something, you have to figure out maybe something happened. You know, I had a lady that was in my coaching program and she became very, very ill. She did sign a contract. She couldn't finish it. So what we did is we entered into another contract. After her surgery and after she healed, we put her contract on hold. I didn't give her her money back, but I wasn't able to coach her during that time. And I could have been a pickle and say, well, you said you were going to do it, so I'm keeping your money and I'm not coaching you anymore because you're sick. I didn't. I put it all on hold. After she had her surgery, and after 6 weeks of her surgery, she came back into my coaching program, and I continued. Because that's the way business should be done. That is the way business should be done. Don't lose a client or a client that you could get just because someone can't finish something. Life throws us curveballs. So you have to figure out what your alternatives are, what your negotiation power is, and what you're willing to give and what you're willing you can't give. Options, choices to satisfy your interests and or trades. So let's say I come to, and I've done this on several times, I will tell you. I come to a person and they want me to coach them. That's for example, but they don't have the money. Well, guess what? Sometimes they have a platform that I can speak on, and that will take care of a couple of their payments. We trade it out. That's a win-win for both of us, right? Yes. Or I've gotten into situations where there was someone that wanted to speak on my platform, and I wanted to be taught some things about podcasting. And guess what? We traded it out. That class was almost the same amount as being a keynote speaker on one of my platforms. We traded it out. It worked out great for me. It worked out great for them. Now, we had to trust each other, didn't we? Because it didn't happen on the same day. They spoke on my platform 2 months later. I was in their program, their class for podcasting. But again, I started with this person probably a good 2 years ago. I knew of that person. I liked that person. I started getting to know this person. And I started getting to know that I could trust that person because of the other people that knew this person, hung out with this person. It is a circle. It can be a happy circle or a vicious circle. And for me, it is a great circle to be in. I want to know all Gail's friends. I want to know everybody she works with, because you never know who she knows that I can benefit from. Now, when I say benefit, I'm not saying go in like a hungry dog and try to get them all to buy my coaching programs. But what if they're a great speaker and they want to come and speak on my platform? Or what if they have a platform that I want to speak on? Or what if they have a podcast that I would love to speak on their podcast? I mean, that's the way it goes. Okay. So always know how you can satisfy each other. Okay. Going back to Teresa, she's really upset with her employer right now. Well, does she know another employer that maybe she can go work for that has built trust up in the area? Maybe she wants to get out of the business altogether and go to school or start her own business or create her own business or up her game in her own business. Because I know Teresa does several different things. Commitments. Always be committed to what you agree to, unless you can't. Unless those curveballs get thrown at you, okay? But if you make a promise, and it can be something so simple to turn someone away. If you promise to send someone a link, send them a link. When you tell them you're going to send them the link, okay? And if for some reason you don't, you go back and you apologize for not sending them that link when you said that you were going to, because baby Johnny got sick and you had to go help with him, okay? It happens. But you do your very, very best to keep your commitments. Communication. Wow, that is key. Communication comes in all kinds of forms. Your body language. Did you know that? Your body language. Oh my gosh, especially if you're talking or speaking. If you're sitting there and you're not smiling and you're speaking, you look sad. To us, you look sad. I have a grandson that never smiles, ever smiles. I never know if he's mad, happy, what. His mom was the very same way, which is my daughter. In the middle of Disney World, when she was 7 years old, I'm like, you can't even see that she's happy. And we've spent all this money bringing her to Disney World. That is her personality, but we don't know how to read people if they don't have an expression. So it's key. Listening. Oh, we forget to listen sometimes. We forget to listen. And when we don't listen, we don't know what they really want. You know, sometimes when I sit down to a person, they think they know what they need and want until I start listening. I give this example that a gentleman has all these eggs for sale and he wants to sell his eggs, okay? He doesn't want to sell his chickens. He just wants to sell his eggs. And I sit with him and I say, okay, why is it so important for you to sell your eggs? Because they'll ruin unless I sell them. I have too many eggs. Okay. Now, everybody knows what an egg is. We eat them fried, boiled, scrambled, whatever, right? But we can only eat so many a week. And it's only good for us to eat so many, right? And how we. And I'm like, okay, so I'm hearing you that you want to sell your eggs. And I hear it's because you don't want them to ruin and go to waste. I'm listening. I'm hearing. So how can I help you sell your eggs? Well, I really don't know. Okay, have you went to Facebook and advertised that you have fresh eggs for sale and offer a certain time for them to pick up and where to pick up at a certain time and date? No, I never thought of that. Okay. What else would you like to see your eggs? Where else would you like to see your eggs go? Well, maybe the restaurant. He never ever thought about that until we sit down and had a conversation. All right, now we're going to start selling your eggs to restaurants. Well, egg farmer, have you ever thought about giving away your eggs to some of the food pantries? To some of the kitchens that feed the homeless and the needy? No, I've never thought about that. Well, I'm listening to you and I'm hearing you don't want your eggs to ruin. So that's another avenue. Do you know that by the time we were done, we put up his eggs for sale on the marketplace and Facebook. We reached out to the homeless places that have what we call soup kitchens here for people to go to every day to eat because they have warm cooked meals for them, and the food pantries where they give food away. And because, if they're not refrigerated, eggs don't have to be refrigerated. I didn't know that till I talked to the egg farmer. But once they're refrigerated, then they always have to stay refrigerated. So there's so many things I learned from the egg farmer. And yes, this was a true story, ladies. And do you know now he has them in all of our he doesn't live local to me. In his local restaurants, several of them use it. Bakers, donut shops, all of those places now buy his eggs. And they get to advertise that they use fresh farm eggs from their community, which makes people want to go there to eat, buy their donuts, have breakfast, buy their cakes, whatever, because of that. But it was because I listened to him that we figured this out. And now he doesn't have to waste eggs. So again, it's listening. The communication skill has to be there. Needs of other party and yours. I need to know what Grace needs, and I have to also know what I need. I need to keep the lights on, or maybe I need to make the car payment. Maybe I'm wanting to get more people into my membership. It's not always about the money. Yes, we can't do this for free forever. But sometimes I'm trying to grow my membership. Sometimes I'm trying to fill my platform for my next speaking gig. In August, I have a workshop, all-day workshop. I'm still looking for speakers for it. Sometimes I'm working on that. But sometimes I'm sitting here trying to make the money to pay my car insurance. It's the way it all goes around. It's a community ball of different things going on. Do we have any questions about that? Okay. So, simple negotiation tips and techniques. Always ask open-ended questions. Always. You don't want to talk to someone without asking a question. Okay? Because once you do that, then you have to keep the conversation going. If you ask a question, at least they hopefully will answer your question. Some are not as communicative as others. Some communicate well, some are not. So you don't want to go up and say, oh my goodness, Gail, blue looks lovely on you. That's not an open-ended question. All she's going to say more than likely is thank you. Unlike me, I'm going to say, oh my goodness, thank you so much. And you look beautiful. Your hair is beautiful today. Because I'm just a talkative person. Most are not going to do that. Okay. So always open-ended questions are about questions that you can really get involved with. Like if you're at an event, oh my goodness, Grace, I'm so glad to see you here today. I haven't seen you in a while. Kind of like I did Teresa when she first came in the room. Now Teresa has the opportunity to say, oh my goodness, LaDonna, it's probably been a good 3 months. How is your business doing? What are you doing new? Do you have anything going on? Or I can ask Teresa, what does she have going? See, now we've opened a whole ball game because I ask an open-ended question. Listening actively. Take notes because you don't want to interrupt them. Let them speak as long as they're speaking about what you need to hear, about why you're there, why you're having the meeting. Always be positive. Never tell the egg farmer they're crazy because he wants to sell eggs, right? Because it's just eggs. But it was important for him. So it's important for me to coach him how to sell his eggs. Be in a position where you can be cooperative. You can try to help them. You can't do it for them. I couldn't sell the eggs for him. He had to go out to the restaurants and ask for the sale. Okay. But I gave him the idea of it. He had to make the phone calls or walk into the food bank, so he had to ask for the fundraisers. Now he's doing fundraisers with eggs. Why not? He has them. So be cooperative with never, ever, ever get in a negative situation. Always keep it positive. Now, what do I mean by that? Don't walk up to Gail and say, Gail, I'm so sorry, my internet just went down. Okay,
Wow.
welcome, Abby. Welcome. Okay, so let me go back to sharing my screen. Okay, everyone see my screen? Awesome.
Yeah.
All right. So we talked about open-ended questions. Always ask open-ended questions. Oh, I know where we ended. So what I was trying to tell you, being positive and cooperative, but don't make sure you're telling the truth with whatever you're talking about. Don't get in a conversation that can become negative. You don't want to walk up to Gail and say, Gail, you look beautiful in blue, if you don't really believe she looks beautiful in blue. Okay? Find something that you can own up to, that you really believe, because then you're going to start talking about the color of blue, but that's your most hated color. See what I'm saying? You'll always get caught. People see through people. Okay. And so we don't want to get into a situation like that. All right. So let's go to our next one. Does anybody have questions about that? I know you're just coming in, Abby. I'm sorry. But I think we can get you somewhat caught up, and we'll have a recording as well. Is Dar coming in, Abby, as well? Okay, I'll be watching for her, but if you see her, let me know. All right, so let's go to the next slide. Communicating effectively. We've talked on some of this. Clear and effective communication means having clarity. Listen to the tone and body language. Again, we talked about body language just a minute ago about if someone's not smiling, you may be losing them. They may not be happy with what you're saying. Try to get them back. You try to have body language, because if not, you'll become stagnant when you're talking, and then people don't know how to relate to you. Listen to your tone and their tone. Always speak clearly for them. It's not about you. Maybe you need to slow down on your talking. Maybe you need to change your vibe when you're talking. listen to understand them, not just respond. If Abby's talking about something that I don't understand, I can do this because I can relate to broken computers or them not working. But I can't do this if she's telling me how to fix it and I don't understand. I will just smile because I'm listening, but I'm not getting it. That way, if she calls on me, she will not be upset if I say, I'm sorry, you lost me, and take this link and do that with it and put it inside here and then put that inside of this. You lost me, don't want to know, but I'm here to support you, Abby. So always be honest because people can see through that. Listen to understand, not just respond. Use active listening techniques like nodding, summarizing to show you are engaged. Good versus poor communication in negotiation. Don't get into an argument with someone. If you don't agree with what president should be president, guess what? Don't bring up the presidential status. Don't bring up things that you know that could become negative very quickly because you're not always going to agree with some things. Okay? So always try to bring up things that you can relate to and that can be positive and keep that communication going. Very, very important. So avoid common mistakes. Here are just a few common pitfalls. Accepting the first offer. Everyone usually has more than one offer when they present an offer to you. You don't have to accept the first offer and you don't have to accept it that day. Okay? It's not always going to work that way. But hey, if the first offer is too good to be true, take it. That may be their bottom offer. Talking too much. Don't talk yourself out of a sale. It happens every day. Have you ever done that, Grace? Have you ever done that, Gail? Abby? Teresa? Dar? Have you ever talked yourself out of a sale? Probably.
Lots and lots of times.
Yes, probably so. Too emotional. You don't be emotional. If you make the sale, great. And if you don't, it's going to be okay. The next person may accept you on it. Because once you become emotional, you'll probably lose the sale anyway. If I'm a life coach and I'm talking to someone, and then I start telling them that, number one, I'm not a life coach. This is just an example. If I'm a life coach, I'm not going to tell them that my husband abuses me and I stay in the abused situation and I'm an alcoholic and I continue to drink and I beat my children and I continue to beat my children. Well, that's not a very good life coach. That life coach just talked me out of hiring them to be my life coach. Because how can they life coach me if they're making all the wrong decisions in their own life, right? Don't talk yourself out of a sale. Don't become too emotional. Know what keeps you calm. If that's drinking a glass of water while you're speaking or while you're making your offer, or maybe that's holding your hands together, maybe that's rubbing your hair keeps you calm, then do it. Keep calm, remain calm, because when you're not calm and you become emotional, you're going to start chattering too much, chattering too quickly. You're going to become that emotional wreck and you just lost a sale because of it. You probably just lost some trust factor as well. Keep yourself together. Think, people, think before you speak. The old LaDonna in her 20s and 30s, I would become, if someone ran into my car, I would become very, very emotional. I would have spoken, probably ugliness, and lost control and became very emotional. Okay. I wished I was the LaDonna that I am now, back in the 30s and 20s of my life, because not too long ago, I was headed to the doctor with my back pain. I had just had my spine stimulator implanted, was going back for a checkup, and someone rear-ended my car. The old LaDonna would have probably popped out of the car saying all the wrong words. But you know what? I popped out of the car, worried about my back, but I stayed calm and I learned that there was two cars that hit each other before they hit me. I made sure everyone was okay. The police was called. I called the doctor. I called the husband. I went back to my car and sit until the fireman came and took me to the emergency because I just had my stimulator implanted. But that's not the way the old LaDonna would have reacted. Stay calm in your everyday life, personal, and business. Once you lose your calmness, you've lost trust in yourself. So any questions so far on what we're talking about? Dar, I know you're probably a little lost. Abby, you might be getting the gist of it, but if you have any questions, I'll try to answer them.
No, not at a loss. I'm just getting
Caught up? All right.
just getting myself together after getting home from church and
All right.
together.
Mastering negotiation skills is not just about getting what you want. You're not always going to get what you want. It's about building the relationship, creating value, and achieving mutually beneficial outcomes. Maybe I reached out to Abby to get her to buy a coaching course from me because now I've known Abby now for over a year. I don't have to play games with her. I can just ask her, hey, Abby, I have my coaching program on sale. I have this certain coaching program. I really think you benefit from it. This is what I can do for you. Maybe it's on sale. Maybe I can offer her and Dar for the same price. I don't know. She may say no, and that's okay. But then she could say, but LaDonna, I was at this other platform the other day and made some great new friends. You may want to join this group. Now I just learned about a new group that I never knew of. Or maybe I was thinking about that group, but nobody sold me on it. See what I'm saying? You never know what else Abby can offer me or what else I can offer Abby. Maybe to speak at my next event. You never know. Okay. So it's always keep those connections growing. Keep the network going. Start collaborating. So many of us do not collaborate and we're missing the sprinkles on our cupcake. Okay. So continue gathering those networking situations so we can start collaboration. These skills are applicable in every aspect of your life, from professional settings to personal interactions. Dar said that she just left church. I'm guessing she probably interacted with people today when she was at church. Maybe she ran into some new people. Maybe there's new connections. Maybe they collaborated in something for church. Maybe she's bringing potluck next week. Maybe she's going to a potluck. Maybe someone she ran into is buying jewelry and having a birthday party. She can do invitations for. She can do birthday cards for. You never know. Maybe Abby's church is doing a new website. Maybe she can do that website with them. See, So many collaborations can happen in every situation and every place you go to. You just have to be open to them. So remember that. By learning to negotiate effectively, you equip yourself with a powerful tool that can unlock value in every deal and enhance your overall quality of life. Your life, your partner's life, everyone's life you live with at home and in your business. So always remember that. So, what questions do you have right now? How can I help you be more powerful right now? Anyone? Anyone? If you think of some later, you know I'm here for you. Just send me a message in Facebook Messenger, LinkedIn Messenger, and I'm here. Teresa, do you have a question?
Yeah, I tend to lose my cool and I tend to get emotional. So, and those are the things you just said to avoid.
Yes.
But I don't go into it thinking that's what's going to happen. It just happens because I have other things going on in my mind. Like I feel like I'm not being heard. And I am only talking about my current job.
Yes. And you know what? That can be in every situation of our lives. And
Mhm.
my thing is that when someone starts on a path that I smile bigger, it's kind of like that kill them with kindness type thing. And I breathe and I count. Sometimes I have to count to 5 and sometimes I have to count to 10. My oldest daughter, my husband, they have a personality that are very similar. And it's very hard to talk to them sometimes when they make up their minds. They're right, and they are right. So I have to count to 10 sometimes. And I have to nod and I have to say, okay, LaDonna, is this something I really need to speak to them about? Or can I table this for now and go back when I have more control? Because if I don't, it could really upset them. And then it becomes negative. So think before you speak, count, walk around, thump your fingers maybe on the desk. Sometimes I have to do this, and sometimes my fingers almost become purple because I'm trying to refrain from, I'm letting them speak their piece. And then hopefully I will have a chance to speak next. And hopefully I will say all the right words. Teresa, it takes practice. It takes a lot of practice and it takes you figuring out how you can control your emotions. So practice it. Now, at the very beginning, and Dar and Abby, I know you weren't here, I asked everyone to put into the chat and on your notes your name. And it's important for you to put your name because you're writing this to yourself, one personal situation and one business situation that you need to work on your negotiation skills. So now I want everyone to revisit what you said. Let's really jump on your negotiation skills that you are taking away with you today. And I would like to hear from each of you. I was hoping Tamara could get back on. I guess she couldn't. What are the negotiation skills that you're walking away with today that you want to work on more? Or that hopefully maybe we helped you with today? Gail, I'm going to start with you. Is there any skill that particularly came to mind?
For me, it was that you didn't enumerate it as a skill, but you implied it. That balance of being attentive to the other person's needs and wants and all of that, and authentic to yourself. And so recognizing, for me, what that meant is I have to be honest with myself about when I've made my best effort and when it is okay to walk away for now. And it's the for now that was critical for me, because I spent a lot of my life feeling like to terminate a relationship or to terminate a conversation or to terminate an interaction with somebody was emotionally fatal. It was like if I said, we're done, that there was no coming back from it. And just realizing that I can walk away for now and come back later. And so
Yes.
my commitment when I enter into a conversation or a negotiation, my commitment is to bring my best self and to operate in my best integrity toward our mutual value. And if I hit a place where it is no longer consistent with my integrity or my well-being, I give myself permission to walk away for now.
For now.
And so
Absolutely.
that was the big, to walk away for now
Yes.
without counting it a failure.
Yes. Because remember, we have those slow cookers and very slow cookers and very,
Right.
very slow cookers. And sometimes people don't see you. They're hearing you, but they're not really listening to you. Or they know you're there, but they're not really looking at you. They're not getting it. They're not falling in love with you yet. It's like a dating game. Some people you have to date longer than others before they really fall in love with you. And it is really like that because of that connection, Teresa, I know that you brought out that, that we touched on being emotional. Is there anything that we helped you with today?
My goodness. So this last year, I wasn't really evaluated last year at my job. A lot of things came into play where my health and just too many things. And I think that they're like, we'll just give her, percentage and be easy on her. Or maybe, and there's been years that management got too busy and was like, oh, I'll get to talking to you, or I'll get to talking to you. And months went by and it never happened, and whoop-de-doo, that's always happened. But if I do get to talk to him at the end of June or July, I'm going to stay positive, because although as a consumer, you think that, insurance is sky high, but I've never seen anything like it in all my life. Like it's bad. It's bad wherever you go, not just an insurance business, everywhere, inflation, all of it, the grocery store. But I could stay positive and say, everything that we've been through where we had to sever ties with some of our carriers or they sever ties with us, we've been able to maintain customer relations and let them know that we're here for them. That's staying positive, that I've been able to maintain those relationships and stay on top of the renewals. And I went through that through March and April. And so I'm on the downhill slide, but it's been very, I don't know what you call it. It's been one of those things, challenging. It's been challenging. It's been challenging for the employees. It's been challenging for insurance producers. It's been challenging for the agency. But we've been able to get through it. I mean, that's being positive.
Yes. Yes.
And yeah,
everything around positive, Teresa.
Yeah. And
that's
so
the way to look at it.
So I mean, right there, if I and being prepared was one good thing that you said. If I know that, okay, I'm going to meet him on Wednesday for lunch, then these are the things that I want to put in my mind. Like if he's coming in at 11:30, I might turn my phone off and look at my notes and say, oh, we're going to focus on this, Teresa, and I'm just going to replay that in my mind and I'm going to think on that. So I think for me, being prepared and staying on some positive aspects before I bring up the topic that needs to be discussed.
Yeah.
But because I've even heard that you put something in a sandwich, you say good stuff, You say the not so good stuff, and then you come back to the good stuff.
Yes,
And
always.
that might help, you know.
Yes,
So
anytime you have anything negative, you always come back with a positive. Negative, positive, negative, positive. It's always, because I learned that as a teacher. You know, if you have to have a teacher conference and you have to say, Susie is very talkative and disturbs class, but she's so sweet to her friends. See what I just did? Negative, positive, because parents never want to hear negative, but teachers, you know, that's why you have teacher conferences. So Grace, what was the number one thing that you came away with today?
Listen to understand. Because sometimes I don't know what some people are talking about. So,
Yes, but you're still listening. You're still listening. You're still giving
yes.
the respect. I love that. And you know what, Grace? I can see that with you. I can see that fully with you. Abby, I know you were here just a short time, but did you get anything out of the conversation? What would be the one thing?
That personally, I'm on the right track. However, once I get the review, I'll be able to know better whether this is the correct statement or not.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. How about you, Dar? Did you learn anything with the short time you were here today?
You're on mute.
It's a stupid red button, I tell you. Yeah, I caught the gist of it. Don't know how to put into words what I got, but when I was in the workforce, I was always one to believe that if I was being mistreated or bullied in any situation like that, I was not planning to stay long. So that ended me up changing jobs often. However, being in networking is the right place for me because I've only got myself to blame if something goes wrong. And Abby always handles those difficult situations for me. When something comes up, I don't have to worry about it. Just hand it over to Abby, and she's my angel. And she takes care of all the money too. So I really got nothing to lose being a network marketer.
But you know what that tells me? You have that trust factor in Abby.
Yeah.
So you're still building that trust factor, and you have it with Abby. And that is part of what we talked about, is that like, know, and trust. Even though she's your partner, everybody's partner, they don't always trust them with their money or
Right.
trust them to handle the things that come along. You know, so I'm glad that you have that. And I want to thank each and every one of you, and I hope that you will all go out and practice the things that we talked about today. And I bet you when you go and start thinking on the things we talked about today, more things will come up, that aha moments. I can utilize this or that. Do you think that this was productive today on your Sunday afternoon? Yes? Awesome. Awesome. We will have this again. I don't know when, but we will have this again because I think it is very important to do it over and over, because we never get it all the first time. Never, ever. I will get it posted in our community, and I will get it posted on my Facebook page as well. But always know I'm here. If you have a question, just Facebook or LinkedIn message me and I'll get to you and answer it. And I hope I will see you guys on Monday Mojo. And that is Monday. Yes, Dar.
Will this will the replay for this event be on the page in the community?
I'm sorry, Dar. What did you say?
Will this particular event, will it be posted in the website?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely. Absolutely. The website, on our Facebook page, on my regular Facebook and LinkedIn pages. So that way you can catch the replay. and go back to it.
Perfect.
Thank you. Have a great rest of your Sunday. Bye-bye.
Good to see y'all.